today, and thank you all for being here.
All right, thank you so much, Kathy. And I missed a bunch of places in the chat. We also have folks here from Tennessee, North Carolina, Chicago, and Oman. That must be Haifa. Hi, Haifa. All right, now next, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Eric Jack, who is our Dean at the Collette School of Business.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and I appreciate Paul and Kathy because we are both together in the building, sharing this new facility. And as we designed the building, we had programs like this in mind, that the business school could be a value-added partner to the Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And it is great to see us working closely together, bringing opportunities to all students on campus and to the Birmingham community that says there is a home for entrepreneurship at UAB and in Birmingham. And that is the Bill L. Hobart Institute and the Collette School of Business. So with that, I want to thank my faculty like Molly, Patrick, Joel, so many others who are driving this opportunity in terms of learning for entrepreneurship. And I do want to thank the judges, and I see who the judges are today. So thank you for participating. And thank you, Iberia Bank, for the support over many years to make this program possible. Thanks, everybody, for your participation and support.
And thank you so much, Dr. Jack. All right, so next, Joel Dobbs is our executive in residence at the Collette School of Business, where he teaches entrepreneurship and coaches and mentors future entrepreneurs. Joel is the reason that we have this wonderful relationship with Iberia, who is sponsoring the Blazer Innovation Challenge, as we've mentioned. And so now I'd like to invite him up to say a few words about the program's history.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome from all points around the globe. This is our 4th year to do the Blazer Innovation Challenge in partnership with Iberia Bank. The first year we did it at Innovation Depot, the first couple of years, and then most recently here. So over the course of those years, if you think back at some of the student entrepreneurs that we've had in this program, they've ranged from everything from custom 3D printed orthotics to a collective for amateur beer brewers, a self-service auto repair business, nutrition bars, modular guitars, healthcare informatics, homes for the homeless, improvements in scientific literacy and videography, to name just a few of the different entrepreneurial ideas that our students have pursued. This year, I'm very happy to have been able to partner with the Anvil. This is a very logical partnership, and I think a good way to continue to move this forward. Because of my teaching commitments in the evening, unfortunately, I was not able to work with the students in the accelerator this year, but hopefully I'll be able to do that in the future. So to all of the participants, I wish you the best of luck appreciate your perseverance through some very interesting and difficult times. Thanks to Iberia Bank, and thanks to all of you for joining us this evening.
All right, thank you, Joel. And yeah, it was such a shame that our meeting times are Monday and Wednesday evenings, and those lined up exactly with the times that Joel teaches, which was too bad, but hopefully that our students will get a chance to connect with you in the future. So this is the first time that we have ever merged these two programs together. And I think it's so exciting that we have the opportunity to provide funding to our students. So thanks again to Iberia for their generosity. Now, before I tell you about the Anvil program, I'd like to address the virtual elephant in the room. So the past few weeks have hit us all hard, and it's been devastating for me to watch the effects of COVID-19 on our community here in Birmingham. So from the stories of the individual lives impacted and the fearless healthcare providers on the front lines, the devastating economic impact, spike in unemployment, and closing of many small businesses. There's never been a more important time to support Birmingham's entrepreneurial ecosystem, and I've been astounded at how quickly we have come together as a community to provide support. In just a few days, we saw city government, the Alabama SBDC, the Birmingham Business Alliance, Alabama Power, Shipt, Bronze Valley, among so many others, too many to mention, put out resources for businesses in need. And there have been other bright spots in the past few weeks as well. I'd like to give a shout out to Dr. Patrick Murphy. Patrick, are you online?
Yes, I am. Hello, Lydia.
Hi, Dr. Murphy. All right, so I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
Funny to see everybody on this virtual platform. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out and congratulate you on April 9th. The University of Alabama Board of Trustees granted final approval for a new BS in entrepreneurship, which of course would not be possible without the dedication of Dr. Murphy, who is our Goodrich Endowed Chair of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So this, along with his other entrepreneurship programs, are really important to the Anvil because they're already forming the strong academic foundation for the future of entrepreneurship at UAB. So now I'd like to share an inside look at what our students have gone through and accomplished in the last 10 weeks in the Student Start Bootcamp. So the UAB Anvil is a program underneath the Harvard Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and it's completely free, non-credit bearing, open to any UAB student from any area of study who'd like to start a business. Now, students can either apply with an idea for a business or as a free agent. So over the last 10 weeks, our students formed teams, attended weekly lectures and coaching sessions, and received one-on-one mentoring. This was all building up to a 1,000 to 2,000 word business plan submission and, of course, tonight's competition. So now to reiterate, this is a non-credit bearing program, and the amount of work and dedication that I've seen each of these teams put in is frankly remarkable. Most of our students are often participating on top of a full course load, and in many cases, a full or part-time job. So along with providing an awesome educational experience for our participants, we also want to show them all of the amazing things we have going on in Birmingham. So this cohort, we did site visits to innovation centers, including Innovation Depot, Forge, and Hardware Park. These site visits were definitely a highlight for this cohort, so thank you so much to these organizations that hosted us. They are fantastic event locations. Now, there are a lot of people who help make this happen. This cohort, we had over 50 volunteers and community members work with our students either as guest coaches or guest speakers. Now, obviously, we don't have time to recognize every single person on this list, but I hope that if you see someone that you recognize, please give them a shout out. Additionally, I'd like to thank our mentors. They play a huge role in guiding and advising each individual team outside of our session times. So we're very grateful for their support as well. And finally, a big thank you to Dr. Molly Wasco. Molly, would you like to say hi?
Hi, everyone. So thanks, Lydia. So I serve as the faculty lead for Anvil, and I want to reiterate thanks to the judges, to all of the participants. It has been an amazing experience getting to work with these entrepreneurs. Their dedication and commitment to this program has really been awesome to see. And of course, Lydia, it's been an absolute joy to be able to work with you. You have done a great job.
Thank you for that, Molly. I really appreciate it. Now, so a lot of people ask me, what is the purpose of our program if our students aren't doing it for course credit? And the answer is that the UAB Anvil is funded by a grant from the Economic Development Administration to create new businesses and jobs in Alabama. And I'm so excited to share with you the impact that our program has had thus far. So in the past 2 years and 3 cohorts, the Anvil has helped launch 16 companies, which have been awarded almost $1.3 million in pitch competitions and grants, raised $1.1 million in investment capital, created 14 full-time jobs, and generated $2.1 million in revenue. And this was just in 2 years. And to me, this speaks to the ingenuity and drive of our students, the strengths of UAB's academics, as well as the powerful support of all of you, the Birmingham community, more than any program. Additionally, now that we're 2 years in, we've also begun to see a more intangible ROI, and I've noticed this walking around Innovation Depot. Many of our alumni work for local startups or are involved in building up the local ecosystem. And I think this is a powerful side effect of showing students all the opportunity that there is here in Birmingham to really shape the place where they live. So I hope that as you watch these pitches today, it brings you hope during this tough time, and also inspires you to reach out and support one of the entrepreneurs that you see here. That's what it's really all about. I would love for all of you to reach out to at least one or two students after today who you find really compelling if you really enjoyed their pitch. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our judges. So first we have Miller Gergen from the Alabama Capital Network. Miller, would you like to say hi?
Hi, thank you, Lydia, and thank you to everybody who has been involved in putting this together, and especially with the pivot to online both instruction as well as the competition itself. So I'm delighted to be part of it again this year, and look forward to hearing the teams.
Miller, we've always enjoyed having you be involved with this program. Thank you so much for your support.
Of course.
And next we have Will Wright, who is the VP of Innovation at Productive Life. Will, you want to come say hi?
Happy to. Yeah, thanks, Lydia. Great to be here, everyone. Looking forward to some great pitches, and excited to be part of this this massive team of really great and inspirational folks. So thanks for having me.
Thanks, Will. And then finally, we have Alex Morton, who is also here from representing our sponsor, and he is the VP and Birmingham Market President for Iberia Bank.
Well, hello, everyone. So excited to be part of this again. I've really enjoyed this for the past 3 years that I've been a part of it personally. I know Iberia Bank sponsored it for longer than that. And I just love how it's grown. I mean, to see to the level it is today, our ability to really pivot and go online and to keep the momentum is just a testament to how well this is run. So thanks to everyone, and look forward to seeing these pitches as well.
Thank you so much, Alex. And thank you to all of our judges. We're very grateful to have all of you here today. Now, for how this is going to work, our judges have received business plans from all 6 teams who are competing, and we'll be evaluating them based both on their business plan submission and pitches tonight. So it's about 50-50 business plan and pitch. Each pitch will last for 5 minutes, followed by 4 minutes from questions from the judges and 1 minute of questions from all of you. So with that, drop your questions in the chat. So if you have a question for one of the students who's pitching or one of the teams, please drop your question in the chat box using the chat function button that you see here in very pixelated form. Also, while I would ask that you please keep yourselves muted, I really want to try and take advantage of this clapping function to show our students appreciation, to show them that they did a good job at the end of their pitches. They all worked super hard, and while it would be an absolute nightmare to have you all clap, actually, that is what the virtual function is for. So can we get some applause with that for our first speaker? All right, we're gonna need to see more than that. So remember the tools to get to the clapping. All right, we got a bunch of folks. Time to introduce our first speaker. All right, so first we have William McGavin, who is currently an MBA student at the College School of Business, and he's going to be pitching his company, See Through Glass Creek Co.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for tuning in tonight. I'm about to get started here. And again, my name is William McGavin. So let me just share my screen right here. And we'll get started. Can you all see that all right? Yeah, all right. So my name is William McGavin. I'm an architectural engineering MBA, and I'm about to tell you how we're going to solve the glass recycling problem here in Alabama while improving the quality of the buildings we work, learn, and live in with our business, Birmingham Glass Creek. Today, in the building industry, concrete is king. It's the single most widely used material in the entire world. Here in the Southeast, current techniques for building structures can be a little bit such as pouring walls in place, which takes a lot of time, people, and is reliable. The alternative to that is precast and shipping these precast pieces to job sites. These precast pieces are usually made from virgin materials sourced from a quarry, and when those quarries start to run dry, prices go up. And you know, we're in a pandemic right now. None of us are going outside, And I'm pretty sure almost any that recycle might have a recycling bin that's starting to look like this. And that's only the bin that's inside the house. Our state has an even bigger recycling problem. ADEM, Alabama Department of Environmental Management, has estimated that every year Alabamians are wasting over $1.5 million of perfectly recyclable glass by throwing it into landfills. And the bill for this ugly solution is being stuck to our municipalities, paid by our taxpaying companies and citizens. So how are we going to solve this? By creating beautiful architectural precast glasscrete wall panels. And those are what goes on the outside and inside of a building. These two buildings here are buildings that I helped design while working at Turner Batson. We have Grantswood Community School and the UAB Police Department. And I can tell you that the wall panels we used for these were sourced from very distant suppliers, and they cost a lot of the project budget to ship. And so these panels provide support, structure, and insulation on the exterior and interior of a building. So what we do different is by changing the mixture of the concrete, by adding recycled glass and recycled concrete, mixing it with cement and water, we create glasscrete. Then we take this glasscrete, pour it into wall panel molds. We cure these molds in a factory setting for consistent qualities, and then we ship them to a job site, and they are lifted into place safely by someone on the project. So why should we use glass? Why should we use recycled aggregates? The environmental impact of using glass is huge. By using roughly 50% of glass as our aggregate, we're able to provide a use for recycled glass, a material which has historically had problems with finding the right market. This material can be sourced for almost zero cost, or we can be paid by local governments or companies to source and recycle glass ourselves. Glasscrete has nearly the same compressive strength and even better scratch resistance than traditional concrete. We can provide a spectrum of colors and textures by using glass. These panels can help a building become LEED certified, which is a quality standard by the UN Building Council that assures how energy efficient and environmentally friendly a building is. And by having a LEED certification, it can help building owners save money over the lifetime of a building. And it can help builders save money by using tax credits. Our customers are builders. They're the people at the architecture and general contracting firms that will be purchasing these panels. In Birmingham, we're so lucky to be close to major architects such as Thornton Tomasetti and Turner Batson, and contractors like Brassfield and Gorey, Beal Harbert, and Hoare Construction. Every year, the United States spends about $10 trillion on materials and services to build buildings, and the precast market within the US is worth a little over $2 billion. Here in Alabama and adjacent states, we're looking at a serviceable market of about $38 million, hopefully more. The local big competitors in this space are Oldcastle, Vulcan Materials, and Spancrete. Where we're going is we're currently working on product and process development. Our fundraising campaign is underway with a goal to launch our products by the first quarter of next year. Currently, we're growing our local network of suppliers, filing a provisional patent, and partnering. And I couldn't do this alone. We have a beautiful team consisting of Julia Brown, our materials engineer, co-founder, Amara, business development, and Ksenia, our product research engineer. And we need your help. We need your financial assistance. By 2020, we have a goal of raising over $150,000. And we need connections, investors, mentors, partnership. Throw us whatever you've got. Connect with us. And I want to thank you again, Anvil. I want to thank you, Lydia, Molly, and the entire team for providing us such support to build this business. And we're asking for your future financial support. Let's change the way we build.
All right. Thank you so much, Will. That was awesome.
All
Can
right.
we give a round of applause for our first speaker? All right. And don't forget to put your questions in the chat. We're now going to have 4 minutes of questions from our judges. And Will, don't forget to invite up your team.
Sorry, I think I just pressed something. Please, team, turn on your cameras, turn on your mics. Do you still see the slides, everybody? Or do you see this weird thing?
Looks like they're up on your
You
screen.
see that?
Okay. All right. I'm going to enter full screen mode. I'm trying to get questions up while also screen sharing.
We'll read out the questions for you.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll start the 4 minutes for questions from the judges.
Hey, Will, this is Miller Garvin. I had a quick question for you around, you mentioned that sorry, just lost an AirPod. The local competitors, Vulcan
Yes.
Materials, others. What is the cost comparison that you anticipate for what y'all have versus current solutions?
So
Or what you will have, I guess.
that depends if we're going to be sourcing the glass from people that are currently recycling it or picking it up from manufacturers ourselves. And then if so, we can get grant money or funding from governments to offset the cost of that. So currently, with the scale of production we're looking at, it's going to be a pretty close comparison. Hopefully, with the offer of putting as much glass as possible into these panels, which is 50% or more, we can, speak to the value of that. That's solving the glass recycling problem is, to Alabamians, a huge cost. That isn't just the price of the panel. So,
Miller, do you mind if I ask another question?
Yeah,
Will, that's great. Yeah, I had a similar question to Miller, and so it sounds like things are equivalent in terms of value. Have you? So it sounds like this is not the first time that this has ever been done. Is there research, or are you modeling off of other economies or areas or research that has shown that these glass-crete panels perform as well, if not better, than the traditional concrete panels?
I'll answer the question. Hi, I'm Julia Brown. I'm Will's business partner. Yes, there is current research that does cover how glasscrete performs in the industry. And we are modeling different solutions for our mixture based off of the current research that we've been doing.
Okay. And just as a quick follow-up, if the glasscrete does, perform at as the same value or level as the concrete panels traditionally, are other markets, do you see, even other economies, other nations, are they using more of this because of that fact? Or what is sort of the lessons learned of other models, or why hasn't it been used more? I guess is the question.
We see it more as an application process or application problem within what is actually achievable from these products and the ways that they've previously been used. So trying to fit application to properties is what we're really trying to do with the material.
And yes, global markets, Germany actually uses a ton of glass in their concrete. They use it in foundations. They use it in wall panels. China also does this. And you can even see this if you go down to Mexico. I mean, down there, it's a little less quality, but you can see it in almost any retaining wall. They're putting glass in it. So the reason we're not doing it here is we think that the application has been wrong so far, which has traditionally been as a road base and not as a panel.
Got it. Thank you.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for the presentation. I think it's really an intriguing concept because I've seen, through the years, the construction materials industries have changed from plywood to OSB. I've seen people take tires and try to do something with shredded tires. So this is a unique concept I think really meets a need. But there's so much in here that you can really pivot off of instead of going from the very beginning all the way to creating a manufacturing company. I'm really intrigued about the patent and your ability maybe on that piece of it to really focus there. And what is there a business opportunity with the patent that y'all have kind of looked at? Because competing with the Vulcan Materials of the world and so forth, how much you could be a leader if you had the knowledge base from that?
Yes. In our plan, we would like to file and then license the patent to other manufacturers to be able to create these panels at a larger scale than we can do. And that will not just help, the recycling industry here in the Southeast, if Oldcastle or Vulcan starts ramping up production, this could be a model that could be sent over to different places, different states, different countries even, to create a market for glass. And no matter where you go, it's a really hard material to find the right market for. A couple of weeks ago, I was at ConExpo talking to the largest.
All right, well, I'm going to have to cut you off. We actually already gave you an extra minute accidentally for judge questions, and I still want to get to audience questions. So I apologize for cutting you off. We're going to move on to an audience question. We have time to answer one. We have 1 minute. From Dave Schmidt. Hi, Dave. Thanks for logging on. What impact will transportation costs make in your business model?
Transportation costs. So currently, if builders Southeast want to get some glass fiber reinforced concrete panels, they're sourcing them from New Jersey, from Wisconsin, even sometimes from Washington. There's not really any products at these local companies that's competing at the same level we're going to compete with our product. So we can offer significant transportation cost savings to projects here and around Birmingham, even Atlanta, Nashville, New Orleans. The whole Southeast could benefit from this.
All right, and so we only have a couple seconds left on the timer, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Everybody give some applause for Will. Great job.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Alex, Will, Miller, and the entire audience for watching and giving us this platform. Thank you.
Right, and so
Lydia and Molly, thank y'all so much for everything I've done through this program.
Sorry, Julia. All right, so moving on right along to stay on schedule. Next, we have Mohsin Tarji. So Mohsin is currently a PhD candidate in the School of Engineering, and he's pitching his company, Jumpstart Engineering.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So, can we go ahead and...
Yeah.
Can everybody see my screen? Can you hear me? Okay. So, my name is Mohsin Tarji. I'm the CEO and the founder of Jumpstart Engineering. So, Jumpstart Engineering, it's a company that provides consulting services for librarians and create hands-on engineering curriculums for teens and kids. So, before I go deeper into my company, I want to give you a little bit background about myself and how I came up with this idea. So, I'm from Morocco. I'm originally from Morocco, and I'm the youngest son of 2 language teachers. I speak 3 languages, and Southern it's my 4th language. So I came to United States about 8 years ago, and now I'm studying PhD in electrical and computer engineering. So while I was doing my master, I was hired by Birmingham Public Library as a consultant and as a self-contractor and project coordinator to teach and create STEM programs. So the problem that librarians has is that they don't know how to create high quality STEM programs. So because they don't have the knowledge and they don't have the training to do those programs, which lead to kids being bored. So with my 4-year experience at Birmingham Public Library, and creating and teaching over 100 programs, our team has successfully built sustainable STEM programs that have reached over 500 K-12 students, including girls, which is one of the crucial things with one of the grants. So we also create programs for material that library has. For example, when I started, library has some soldering equipment, so I created a program based on that. Also, they have some leftover cardboard, which I created a lockbox from that. And also they had the 3D printing, so I made some 3D printing like shapes. So they are competitors in our market, but they're not fully sweet. So what we offer more, it's we find grants. We help librarians find grants. We help them apply for grants and get grants. We also help librarians get a solid programs STEM programs from existing material. And we're also more sustainable because we consult the librarians and we teach them how they need to know about all these programs. So according to 2016 Institute of Museums and Library Service, there are 9,057 public libraries in US. So if we take small portion of that, 5 libraries to start with for the first year, with an average grant of $50,000 and a margin of 30%, our total revenue will be $75,000. So as we grow, and on the 5th year, we get to 60 libraries, and with an average grant of 120 and a margin of 30%, our total revenue on the 5th year will be $2,160,000. So right now, I'm the CEO and the founder of Jumpstart Engineering. And as I grow, I would like to hire some additional curriculum team members. So right now we are in customer validation. So we tested with the librarians and we got some great feedback. So we want to extend with more customer validation, like schools, like reaching schools, public and private schools, homeschool cohort, and museums and science centers. So today I'm looking for 2 things. One of them is to win one of the prizes. And the second thing, for the people in here, in this room, to connect me with people from these areas. So I have done this as a self-contractor, but with the money and your connections, my company will help prepare the next generation to be the next generation of engineers in the United States. So thank you. Any questions?
All right, great. So Mohsin is a solopreneur in this cohort. So next we'll just dive straight into judge questions. We're gonna have 4 minutes for judge questions, and I'm gonna hold my timer up to the screen so you can see how much time is left.
Miller, do you want to go first? Should we go in order, by the way, Miller? Then
No, go ahead. I'm formulating. Go ahead, Will.
okay, Mohsin, that was a really great presentation, and I think as a father of a young daughter, I just love getting her hands-on training with STEM type STEM team and stream type activities. So really appreciate what you're doing. The question I had, Mohsin, was it seems like you're solving kind of 2 problems, and I want to see if you can tease those apart in terms of value. So one is getting grant dollars for libraries, it feels like, right? There's consulting support to do that. And then the second is actually helping to co-create some of these programs.
Correct.
Do you see, which of these is more challenging for librarians? Do they need the help to get the grants, or is it, to actually co-create the programs?
That's a great question. So we're focusing on consulting the libraries. So the grants, we're just going to help them with the grants. Like some libraries, the big libraries, they have grant writer. So some other libraries, they don't have the grant writer. With our experience, we're going to help them like find those grants and like guide them through we're giving them consulting. So we say, this is an NSF grant, so you can use it. And we're going to guide them like what they're going to put on the grant. But with my background and my experience, I've been creating engineering curriculums, which the librarians doesn't have the knowledge for. So this is my biggest thing, consult them and show them like how to create solid programs, how to get the most from the grants. Exactly.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to piggyback on that a little bit. Will you explain a little bit more about your fee structure? Is it coming strictly out of the grants that are won by the librarians later? Are they able to pay consultants with grant funding? Help me a little bit there.
That's a great question. So we're going to be introduced on the grant. So while they're writing the grant, they're going to introduce us on the grant. So we will be part of the grant. It's not like till they get the grant, then they're going to pay us. We will be part of the grant. So like we're going to be a contractor on the grant.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
and Alex, you're about to jump in, but Mohsin, do you have any sense of how big the number of dollars are in the grant funding world for libraries is?
Yes. From my experience, when I was working at the library, we got $100,000 from UAB. So the goal for that grant it was to get more girls introduced to the field of engineering, and we were successful in that. So our numbers and surveys show that we got more girls introduced to the field of engineering.
Okay. Yeah, and where I was going to go with that is kind of from the grant or the creativity. Where is the bottleneck as far as your time?
So it's the time we're going to be consulting the librarians. So we're going to show them this is like if you get a grant of $100,000, you're going to split it to 2 years. We're going to show them how to split the money for 2 years and how to have solid programs during the 2 years. We wanted that grant money to be used properly, not just thrown away, because librarians doesn't have the knowledge for to work with this program.
Well, so with the last time you got, so is it harder to do the grant or is it harder to come up with the program?
So it's harder to come up with the programs and how to split those grants.
All right, and that's all the time for judge questions. Now we'll move to audience questions. All right, trying to coordinate timers here. All right, so we have a question from Robbie Tyndall. Hi, Robbie. Robbie says, very important learning opportunity. What is the teacher plan? How many full-time employees can this support?
So it's a great question. So the idea, it's not, I don't want to work with kids. So the library will hire students like I was, like from university, to teach those programs. So I will be teaching students, like university students, to teach those programs. So my company will not hire those students, but they will be hired by the library.
All right, so another quick question from Rachel Lane. You mentioned homeschooling cohorts as a potential market. How would you adapt your business model to serve this market?
So we want to test, like if the parents will be willing to, because we want to think about online, since we have this COVID-19, we want to shift a little bit and think about it. Like if there is some homeschoolers, we want to introduce online platform too. As we grow, we want to introduce it too. But when we test in the customer validation, we want to test if parents will be willing to buy our service.
All right, that is time. We're going to keep moving. Thank you so much, Mohsin. Drop your applause, Mohsin, in the chat. Also, if you are a team that is pitching, remember that you can respond. If your team members are online, they can respond to questions in the chat during the question answer portion so that all the questions can be addressed. Thank you, Molly, for that tip. Some of this we're making up as we go along. All right, so moving right along, we're going to go to Jessica Watts. So Jessica is from the School of Education, and she will be pitching her company, Houseplant Collective.
Hello, everyone. Let me get started. Hi, my name is Jessica Watts, and I am the founder of Houseplant Collective, Birmingham's first mobile plant shop. You may be thinking to yourself, why plants? Well, as research shows, there's been a 50% increase in plant sales to a $1.7 billion indoor plant industry since 2016. And with my personal background as a teacher and a counselor in a family of generational gardeners, I have a passion for bringing this unexpected plant industry to the Birmingham community. So there are two key problems I've identified through my own personal experience as well as investing in the Birmingham plant community by hosting plant swaps over the past year. And that is access to easy care and specialty houseplants, as well as the experiential factor that people are thriving for in the buying and shopping experience. And so the driving force in our business is our short school bus that we have converted into a mobile plant store, what I like to call my plant sanctuary. So through our school bus, we are offering that experiential factor, but also a library of well-curated houseplants and botanical goods for sale to allow our customers an opportunity to bring nature into their own home. And so through our bus shop, we plan to pop up at local markets and venues selling the houseplants and botanical goods as our primary source in our business, but also tap into workshops within the bus on DIY plant care as well as DIY projects, Plants by Design consultation services to partner our customers with the perfect plant for their home, as well as rental and event services to bring a little greenery to large corporate events and weddings. So as a part of our initial launch, we began on our social media platform approximately 1 year ago on Facebook and Instagram. And on those, we've organically grown to approximately 2,000 followers. And with those platforms, we began marketing our plant swaps in the Birmingham community to allow people an opportunity to bring in their own plants, swap with others, and converse with other plant enthusiasts. As the COVID-19 pandemic has caused a little shift to market and event schedules, we've had to pivot our business model to our online store. And we have seen an immediate response. In the first 2 weeks of business, we saw over 45 transactions. And when we were originally crunching numbers for business startup, we know approximately 10 average transactions per month bring us to our break-even point. So we are very excited to see that this small portion of our business model brings us to about $3,000 in revenue in online sales per month. But we don't plan to stop just there. We do plan to have our primary focus with our bus pop-ups selling plants and botanical goods, as well as tapping into the consultation services, workshop tickets, and event and rental services. But we do plan to continue offering our free events with the Birmingham Plant Swaps to not only continue building the Birmingham plant community, but also telling people what Houseplant Collective is all about. So where do we go from here? We hope to continue growing and strengthening our social media and web presence to build our customer base, as well as with additional funds, finalize the last pieces of our bus conversion with a bus locking system for safety, as well as sustainable system with solar power panels. And then lastly, with additional funds, we hope to grow our inventory base by curating local goods from Birmingham artisans, as well as creating a library of even more specialty houseplants. And so to make this all possible, this is our team, myself as the founder, as well as Courtney Wild as our marketing intern. And our contact information. Connect with us, be part of the collective so we can turn your home into an urban jungle. Thank you.
Great job, Jessica. Please go ahead and drop some claps in for Jessica into the chat. Additionally, make sure to write down your questions so that she can answer some audience questions after the judging portion. So with that, we'll start the judging portion.
Hey, Jessica, it's Miller. So great job. It's very your pitch deck and everything is very aesthetically pleasing, which I think goes right along with the vibe that you're going for with the houseplants. So good job on that. My question for you: how much does it cost to outfit the bus from start to finish? And talk a little bit about how the bus, I mean, you've got stuff that's breakable. You've got how does it move from one place to another? Do you water inside? Does it all stay there at night? All that kind of stuff.
Great question. So as part of the initial startup, I've kind of been bootstrapping this all on my own. So it's been my own personal contributions for the bus purchase as well as the build out. So we got a very great deal on the bus, $2,500, and we were able to put pretty much that same amount into the bus build out to make it actually look aesthetically pleasing with the floors redone as well as the paint on the outside. So a lot of that's just been me with my personal contributions. And then from there, we're able to kind of tap into our wholesale market with our plants as well.
Miller, do you mind if I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, Jessica, this is Will. Yeah, I agree. Great presentation. Very aesthetically pleasing. I was joking with myself. I think I count 5 houseplants in my place right now that I can see. So definitely get that. My question, it seems like you're going in a and take this for what it is, but it feels as if you're still going in sort of many different directions at this point. And I wonder if you could give us some sense of where the true sort of value is, and if you're still experimenting with that, that's fine. But I'm hearing kind of, purchasing plants out of the bus. There's also an online component. This plant swap idea. I guess I would ask you to sort of think about that a little bit, and then also just think about your competition. What have you learned from them, and how is the bus, competing with? You mentioned in your pitch deck, shop or some of the plant stores in town, like Home Depot, maybe.
Right. Yeah, great question. I think, and this has been brought up a couple times, and this is still kind of a work in progress for me, but the primary focus of the business is the experiential factor with the bus popping up at markets and breweries and different events around Birmingham. So these other components, the workshops, consultation, and the rental services are just something I could potentially tap into at a later time, but the primary focus is on the event pop-ups. Now, since that's had to shift a little bit away from live events into the online store, we have seen a lot of value with that because we are able to directly deliver plants to people's homes. But I think what does make me a little different from our competition, such as the shop and Botanica, is that experiential factor with the bus actually popping up at places to where people live, work, and play, and they're able to get their greenery right in hand there.
With the final 30 seconds, I'll jump right in and just say I really love a pivot, and your ability to kind of move right now and to show some profit even to go online is a testament. Tell me though about the subscription. I think that's an interesting piece about your business. Is that the longer term play where you can really make some money?
Yes, once again, that is one of my longer term ideas, but the subscription service would allow a monthly kind of delivery of a plant to a person's home, or by a pickup location. So they're able to get a new plant each month.
Right on time.
Yeah.
So moving to audience questions, we have a question from Dorothy Ogden. Hi, Dorothy, I hope you're well. What impact do the services and programming offered by the Birmingham Botanical Gardens have on your business plan?
Great question. So a lot of their resources are free, but there are some that are only open to member services. So with this allows a customer to connect with a single workshop rather than doing a full year membership with the Botanical Gardens. But I would love to partner with them to also do pop-up events with plant sales as well.
All right, and I guess, there's 12 seconds left. Great job, Jessica.
Thank you.
I'm going to come for another question, but thank you, Dorothy, for asking the question. Jessica, phenomenal job on the presentation. We're going to move on to LaShawn Warren. So, LaShawn, if you're online, LaShawn is in the Graduate School of Education and is also a licensed nurse anesthetist. I also want to note that LaShawn has been working tirelessly as a nurse during this entire time through this pandemic, while also working on her company and while still being a student. And that to me is just absolutely jaw-dropping. So please, let's have some applause to welcome LaShawn, who's up next.
Thank you, Lydia. Good evening. My name is Dr. LaQuitra LaShawn Warren, and I am here to talk to you today about Southeast Seminars. We are a company that offers continuing education credits and test preparation for Certified Registered Nurse Anesthetists or CRNAs. So let me tell you why I even began this company journey. Well, growing up, I didn't have very much. So I knew that early on that education was going to be key for me to rewrite my story. I worked hard and studied even harder and obtained my first master's degree in quality improvement and outcomes. And I eventually was the first African American graduate of the Stanford University's nurse anesthesia program. Just last year, my fourth and hopefully last degree, I received my doctorate. And that's because I love teaching. And that's why I decided to have this company. So I wanted to quit because I was so busy, but this is a real passion for me. So the target audience is a certified registered nurse anesthetist individually. Of course, that I am a CRNA. That is an advanced practice nurse that delivers anesthesia care. So I work at UAB Hospital, and I've been a CRNA for 13 years and a total of 23 years as a nurse. And here lately, we have been coming to fire about increasing our continuing education. So that's CE credits, and that's what Southeast Seminars provides. And the reason why is because CE is basically the documentation needed to prove when you recertify that you are getting adequate training in the different areas that they require. Additionally, the National Board of CRNAs have added a new test that you must pass. And if you don't pass, then you stand to lose your income because you can't no longer practice. So we understand that our patients are sicker, so you need more skills, more training. However, the problem is these mandates have occurred so abruptly that CRNAs feel like they are afraid that because of the lack of resources, the test is new and we don't know a whole lot about the test, that we just won't be prepared. So the COVID pandemic has really exacerbated this issue of needing the training. So we have come up with the solution of providing seminars that address the resources. So providing the test preparation as well as the continuing education credits that are required to try to help the CRNAs feel at ease about meeting the qualifications. So now is the time for Southeast Seminars because the mandates taking effect this year for next year. Also, the COVID pandemic has really exacerbated our need for training. So what have we done? We originally had traction or mouse webinars planned for later, but we had to move them up because there was such a need for things like what we did 3 different seminars, and it was about 30 people total that attended, and they were free in exchange for placement of their contact information on our email list so that they could be alerted for other products later. So we talked about hand washing, different techniques, and then PPE, which is personal protection equipment, and how you take on and take off that equipment. And then we intubate. So we have this more extensive techniques that we have to use to cover up so that we don't get sick. So the marketing funnel that we used was that it's going to be from the bottom up. And there is about 15,000 CRNAs that's around the Southeast area that we want to especially try to funnel through. And if everybody were to purchase our seminars, it would give us a pretty good revenue. So we'll funnel with social networking and ads to try to get our potential customers to go on our website to pay for the seminars. and they're $800.
LaShawn, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but you're at your time limit, which was 5 minutes. Great job. We're going to go ahead and move on to questions from the judges. We have 4 minutes for questions from the judges, and please submit your questions for LaShawn from the audience.
Hey, LaShawn, it's Miller Gervin. Great job, and good for y'all for being able to move into the webinar space earlier than what you anticipated. I know you offer those for free. Were CRNAs the only ones that attended those 30 people? Were they all CRNAs?
Most of them were.
Okay, I was just going to ask if there's seems like there's a much larger audience that you could be marketing this to.
Yeah.
I know the testing is CRNAs, but
that is the plan. The plan is to start small. So I started in my own area, and then I would like to expand to other advanced practice and then nursing as a whole. So if you do that, of course, that's good revenue, but we'd have to beef up our team.
Gotcha. No, I applaud your staying in your specialty initially.
The only thing I ask though is I worked really hard making a video that I would like for y'all to just take the time to watch. And it's just a little bit of glimpse of my coworkers and some of the things that we went through. And I appreciate everything.
Great. LaShawn, that great presentation. And it seems like you really hit on a need. The question I had was around competition for this. So I do know that a number of CE credit agencies are out there, ranging from huge players like WebMD and Medscape to sort of a universe of folks that get funding for this. So how do you kind of set yourself apart in your mind in that competitive landscape?
The most popular test prep courses it's called Apex and then Valley Review. And they don't provide CE credits that's required for recertification because they were geared towards students. So students don't need CEs, so that's why. But our company offers the CE credits that's needed plus test prep. So we're the only company that offers both right now.
I get it. So CE credits and test prep is
correct. Yes.
Yourself apart.
So you can take your test prep, but we'll give it in such a way that you will still receive the CEs.
I think that's a great point. To kind of piggyback off that, what are the barriers to entry to get qualified to be able to be a seminar company that you're achieving to be? What are the helps that protect your competition as well? But how tough is it to get to the point where you are?
Of course, you have to have the credentials. And then a lot of the times they require for you to be pre-approved through the National Board of CRNAs, which I am a member of. And that's another reason why I would be a good person for especially doing the test prep, because no one has ever taken this test. And so sitting on the board, it gives me an idea of the questions that will be asked to prepare the CRNAs.
Well, I love the business ideas, just the combination of your kind of passion to teach as well as being a nurse. And it kind of looks like it brings the best of both worlds for you.
Yes.
All right. In that case, if there's no other questions from the judges, we'll go ahead and move on to audience questions. Let's see. Do we have any questions? All right, we have a question from William McGavin, one of our program participants. Will asks, well, great job, LaShawn. I admire your drive. How many presenters would you like to hire to host that many seminars?
All of you. We've got some good ideas in this Anvil program. I'm going to try to keep in touch with everybody because if I can help anybody, I will.
Oh, so you're saying you would hire all of the Anvil participants?
If I can. If there's some issue, because we had a lot of like tech guys, I would definitely. Different marketing.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the benefits of this program. You get connected to great talent. Thank you so much, LaShawn. If you want to share it, I saw the video. I know you worked really hard on it. If you want to go ahead and share the link for that in the chat, or if you don't have a YouTube link yet, you can make one and I will share it out to the entire group following this event. All right. Thank you so much, LaShawn. All right. Next up, we have John McCall-Pitts. John is a management information systems with a concentration in cybersecurity major. Tonight, he'll be presenting his company, Jupiter. So please welcome John McCall-Pitts.
Hey, how y'all doing today? Just going to share my screen here. All right, can everybody see my screen fine? We're good? No? Yes, no? Okay, cool, my bad, I'm sorry. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is John Pitts, and I'm the founder of Jupiter. Here, we make it easy to manage professional and personal relationships on a sleek iOS interface. Now, I know I can't see hands now, but we all have valuable relationships with work associates, friends, and family members. As we meet more and more people and really rev up our networks, it only takes time before this happens. We miss a birthday, we find out about our anniversary a couple of hours too late, or we forget to call somebody important. So to answer this, our solution is a user-friendly app, Jupiter. All you have to do is download this app and it connects to your iOS applications. We'll be taking a second to leave the presentation to see the app. So here, once you download the app, once you download the app, you click on it, and you can see everything you've missed from people who are close to you. Here we can see my mom's been talking about Harry Potter. From here, we can see my friends posted something on his Instagram. And we can also see what my boss said on LinkedIn. Looks like he just moved into a nice house, hashtag Chicago Bulls. So the app uses AI to be able to come up with unique suggestions. So a treat from mom, right here we have a book from Amazon, Harry Potter. And also for our boss's new house, we have a nice Chicago Bulls poster. So the app uses AI to read those messages and come up with unique suggestions. Also on the app, we can see our favorites right here. We can see what my friend Tyler said on Facebook. We can see what my mentor said. That is well. Other key thing about the app is to be the thing in a sentence as a crime person with their conversation here, learn more about the life, some suggestions. And because this takes the place of a regular phone app, we still have a keypad on there. Looking at the revenue, we have a 3-year revenue referrals through affiliate links. The second way is subscriptions from upgrading to premium. And the third is contracts with institutions who would like to increase worker-student collaboration. Looking at our marketing strategy, market is young professionals between 25 and 45. We have a low-dollar entry with freemium, and we all advertise which is LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and also boast a refer a friend program.
All right, everyone, it looks like John, unfortunately, is having some connection issues. We're going to see if he pops back up in a minute. We'll allow 2 more minutes to see if he will get back on, and then we'll restart the clock from where we left off. Everybody's dealing with different, bandwidth and Wi-Fi, and so we want to make sure that we give him a fair shot. We're just going to hold on for 2 minutes.
I think I'm back on there now. Sorry about that. So we feel that LinkedIn is a similar platform. LinkedIn's user base grew by 100,000 their first year, 1 million their third year, and 10 million their fifth year. We feel that our user base will grow in our first year, 1.25 million our fifth year. We feel the profitability by checking the prototype. Looking at what we need, everybody can help us right now by taking out the phone. By doing this QR code, we'll be able to help with our customer validation survey. A couple of other needs that we need as well is legal counsel, general guidance and mentorship, marketing, and app development. We made the survey live yesterday. We've completed over 50 customer validation surveys and aim to grow our base to 1,000 as we build our landing page. A third of the people who did the survey report proud. 75% said they would pay monthly for that app, and out of that 75%, 60% would pay $2.99 or more for this application. Here's the team: myself, John, my Anvil partner Felipe. I want to thank everybody for their time.
All right, John, we lost you for a little bit at the end there. You might want to, I don't know if this will help, you might want to close out of your browser window or turn your phone onto airplane mode to maybe save some bandwidth. I'm not a technical person, so I apologize if that's totally off base. But now I'm going to hand it over to our judges to ask John 4 minutes of questions.
Okay.
Alex or Will, if y'all have anything,
Yeah, I tell you,
ahead. I'm thinking.
I've already scanned your survey here, and a really clean survey. I mean, you've done a lot of work. But tell me about the AI component, because I think that's the one thing that really sets you apart and can really be the difference maker here. What's that? Is the algorithm something y'all come up with as a team, or how proprietary is the AI?
Well, we have not done anything yet in terms of starting the AI. We figured that the AI solutions would cost maybe between $5,000 and $10,000 out of the $90,000 app development that we are forecasting. So we haven't done anything so far. We do feel like the AI would differentiate the application.
Where did you come up with the concept of the AI? Have you seen this being used in other aspects before? Because I thought that was pretty interesting in your presentation, how it linked together a post with a gift suggestion. And Miller, I'll be quiet.
I'm sorry, I broke up a little bit, but the AI, the problem. My bad. My internet's going in and out. But I heard the tail end of that question. I came up with the AI because I deal with a lot of different groups. I'm in a fraternity. I'm also in a lot of different cohorts and things like that. So managing everybody is really difficult to just have a beam or fix on everybody. So using something like a personal assistant or AI in this type of application really helped me become a better person and manage these relationships organically.
Hey, John. Oh, go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
Well, John, great. You're hitting on a really important problem. I suppose the second, to build on what Alex described, this is a really important problem, but how set are you in this application as the solution to solve this?
You said how set was I in the application?
That's right. I suppose, there still could be a number of different ways of solving this problem. And I wonder if before you kind of invest a ton in building out an application like this, have you considered other ways of approaching this?
I have thought initially about just a plain web page, but because people usually use applications a lot, well, I find out that a lot of people use applications because applications are so easily accessible and everybody has their phone, but everybody doesn't carry around their laptop, unlike their phone. So by using an iOS application, specifically iOS, we feel that it will be better connected with people and more used.
John, can you talk a little bit about the revenue model? I know you mentioned the gifts and
yes, with the revenue model again, it's let me go to that slide. You said what now? I'm sorry, it's going in and out.
I was just going to say, I imagine that with the gift portion, you're probably leaning towards affiliate links, but for the actual just application, what are we looking at there?
The price for the application, my guess is around $199 to $299. But from the surveys, we've seen that people are willing to pay upwards of $4.99 a month for a platform that can perform like this.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I guess I'll jump back in with the last 20 seconds. So the AI is something that you are currently using, or it's something that you look to develop?
It's something that I would develop.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and that's wraps up our time for questions from the judges. We now have 1 minute for
Yes, sir.
questions. We also had a suggestion from the tech team. John, if you stop screen sharing, it might make it easier on your bandwidth. So try stop screen sharing. Should be at the top of your screen. All right, so now we'll move on to our audience questions.
All right.
The timer now. So Anand Mocherla. Hi, Anand. Nice to see you on here. Thanks so much for coming. Anand says, really cool concept. How much does it cost to tap into the APIs for the various platforms and use their data commercially?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Sure. How much does it cost to tap into the APIs for the various platforms and use their data commercially?
About that. We're still in the concept phase, so we have now worked out through the practicality of affiliating with different iOS applications. We feel that it should not be hard because so many other applications link with other applications and talk with each other.
All right, so moving on to a question from Dorothy Ogden again. So will you be able to use affiliate marketing to get a benefit for referrals to products from Amazon and other retailers?
Yes, that is actually the first stream of revenue that we plan to use. The affiliate links will be available to both premium and freemium, so we won't be missing a beat there at all.
All right, now that ends our time for audience questions. John, feel free to answer the other questions in the chat. Thank you so much for your time. Great presentation. Sorry about the connection issues. So moving on, we're gonna go, oh wait, that was our, moving on, we have one more pitch. Not quite our last pitch yet. Last but not least, we have Tony. Tony Wright will be presenting his company, SHS Hemp, and Tony is designing his own major at UAB, along with pursuing a major in entrepreneurship.
Hello, everybody. I didn't realize so many people will be here today, but it's lovely to see you all. Let me share my screen here. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that. So the name of my company is Stellar Holistic Supply. A little bit about me. I'm a Birmingham native. I attended UAB. I have a marketing degree. I moved to Los Angeles in 2008 to work for a celebrity management company. I started as an intern and eventually became the director of operations. After working in entertainment for a while, I decided to do my own thing. I started doing some consulting work, moved back home to spend time with my family, and coming back home, I'm a native of Fairfield. I realized that there were a lot of issues with our city. The motto of the city is an older city moving in a new direction. One of the things that I realized most about the city was that we had lost our industrial power source. With the loss of the industrial power source, which was steel, the city was actually developed around the steel industry in 1910. With the loss and decline of the output, we lost jobs, tax revenue for the city. Many of the stores closed, including ultimately Super Walmart. Our police personnel declined. We actually don't have a police force right now. We're being patrolled by the county. So my thought was, okay, so what is the heart of these issues and what can we do to resolve them? So I started to think of new and emerging industries that we could potentially re-industrialize the city. So I came up with the idea of the Magic City Project to use some of these industries to introduce them to the town to hopefully redevelop, revitalize, and to develop a green economy. I ended up working with a particular industry of interest because another thing that I had to do when I came back home, I had to care for my uncle in hospice care, and he was taking some pretty heavy duty drugs to help him cope with a lot of the pain. Picture here on the left is my mom and my uncle. He was a Vietnam War vet, so he was a pretty tough guy. And shout out to the VA because they definitely take care of their the soldiers. He received a lot of care from the VA, so it made our job a little bit easier. But some of the medications he was given made him unable to do anything. So he wanted to, still continue to live. So we explored new things that he could potentially take that would alleviate some of his pain, and that was CBD. So the picture on the right is a trip where we went fishing. I don't know if you can see him there, but he's on the bank. So a little bit more about hemp. So hemp is sustainable and completely legal. In the year 2016, Alabama actually legalized hemp. We have an industrial hemp research program that's currently active. Some of the many benefits of hemp are you can make textiles, paper, foods, a lot of industrial products, building materials. Our focus will be on the medicinal piece. So what are some of the problems that we have to deal with in the therapeutics of hemp extract? Number one, the biggest thing is poor packaging. According to the Journal of American Medical Association, they released a study that said that 70% of the current packaging is mislabeled. So a lot of the information on the current products that are on the market are inaccurate. The branding is fine, and a lot of the products look good, but what's actually in it is incorrect. High cost, it's really expensive. For a really high quality bottle of hemp oil, you're looking at about $100. There are several quality control issues, and past prohibition has made it difficult for people to even try CBD because there is a lack of education in its benefits. So what's on a consumer level, what is the biggest issue? It's pain, from arthritis to inflammation to mood, headache. A lot of people are just dealing with pain. So what is the solution? A transparent, high quality hemp product distribution system, essentially an Amazon for hemp derived products. Amazon currently doesn't sell CBD products, and I would assume that is because of the transparency issues and false advertising on a lot of the products that are currently being sold. So how do we get this started? Well, we'll be producing some products, and these are some of our initial product offering: infused edibles, topical rubbing creams, and oils. And our products will be tagged with a unique digital ID and product tag. What's our market differentiation is our tagging system. So people will have access to product profile that will be located on the blockchain system. So with the product profile, that can include the sourcing material, where it came from, or where the seeds originate from, the farmers that grew it, the processors that processed it, research, and other adequate information that would help people make better decisions about the products that they're purchasing. So our revenue streams, we're going to start with direct sales because we have a lot of testing that we would like to do. Bottle oils, infused edibles, and salves will be our first products.
All right.
And I'm at time, so I apologize. But if you have any questions, my partner Jay Chen and I are happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right. Thank you so much, Tony. Sorry I had to cut you off. And now we'll move into 4 minutes of questions from the judges.
Hey, Tony. It's Miller Gervin.
I'm not.
Did I take myself? Yeah, I did take myself off mute. So, okay, correct me. It sounds like y'all are building really sort of from farm all the way to distribution for the CBD and infusing technology, and sorry for the pun, in there as well. So have y'all thought about partnering with someone that's already got a reputable CBD processing outfit and, integrating your technology as opposed to starting, sort of reinventing the wheel?
Yeah, absolutely. The reason that I wanted to do my own products is because, I'm a science guy, so I want to be able to see, I want to develop the products how I would develop them and offer people the best products that they can have access to. But there are some really great products that are already on the market. We're looking at a company. I've been talking to representatives from a company called Canaway. They're interested in doing some work here in Alabama. So we've been talking to them. I think they have really great products. The issue though is that they're really, really expensive. So we're trying to figure out ways to decrease the cost so we can offer the same level of product, but at a lower cost. But yes, I will definitely give access to the technology for other companies that we can vet their processes.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tony, this is Will. Building on Miller's point, I think it would be helpful to kind of, as you think through this, think about that sort of what is the minimal viable version of this? What is the smallest version that you can get going to start to validate your model? And I think your blockchain technology, if you did get that to work, would have applications across a whole host of other industries as well that might have packaging or sort of custody chain issues. So I just want you to, this is less of a question and more of just a sort of open thought is, see if you can drill in on where you're going to get to and see if you can set a near-term milestone to actually start generating revenue off of a very small MVP before you kind of try to tackle all of these streams.
Yeah, the primary focus is the development of our website and platform. So we're developing our own products to test. I don't want to sell it to someone and it doesn't work for us. So that's kind of the reason why we're starting with our own beta products. But yeah, in the future, we'll definitely include.
And that's where I was going to go. Just follow through with that. How are you differentiating yourself with the end product? And does that with all the back work you've done, does that create a cost differential for you as you start to come out with the edibles or some other the oils and so forth? How are you differentiating?
It boils down to the ingredients, the strands that we use. All strands aren't equal. Flavors, different other infusions, fruits. So from mangosteen, which is a fruit, to mangoes that actually help therapeutically with different ailments. And then also our unique tag. I don't have an image in this version of the deck, but we will, our tag will allow for individualization because most products don't have a tag that you can link all the information to. So that's our biggest differentiation. Any other questions?
Well, I do remember a few years back the nutrient bar that was mentioned earlier in the program. So there was a great pivot that went with that bar. So to Will's point earlier, I really interested to see how this progresses and if you have to pivot to continue to be unique in the forefront, trying to differentiate yourself. So thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Tony. We are going to move into audience questions. We actually have a question from our tech team. So we've had a tech team helping out all night. And the tech team asks, great idea. Do you plan on partnering with local hemp farmers in Alabama?
Absolutely. So the goal is to be able to connect all the hemp farmers, the seed distributors, and the retailers to have a centralized place where we can do business. Because right now the system is super fragmented, and not everyone knows what everyone's doing and how to reach them. So the goal is to connect everybody so we can do business here for the state.
All right, and next we have a question from Willie McGavin again. He asks, it's been exciting to watch this develop. Are you looking to process agricultural hemp core fiber as well as extracting the cannabinoids?
Say that last part.
Are you looking to process agricultural hemp core fiber as well as extracting the cannabinoids?
Absolutely. So one of the issues is that most of the hemp here in the city or in the state is being processed just for the cannabinoids. And then there's a huge mass of biomass that's remaining. So that biomass can be used for several different things, a lot of different things, including for building materials.
All right, and we have 4 seconds left, so we'll go ahead and stop the timer. Thank you, Tony. That is it for all of the pitches that we have today, but don't go anywhere. We are going to announce the winners on this call, but we do need a break to let our judges